You're not going to get replaced by AI. You'll get replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI better than you.
Imagine a world where you wake up and all your tasks are handled by AI. All your articles are drafted, all your emails are sent, and all your schedules are organized. Do you think that this convenience would be a good thing, or will it bring its own challenges in the freelancing world? In this video, I'm going to speak to you about AI and freelancing, and where these two are great together, and where they might interfere with one another. As a freelance writer, Sarah hated the admin side of her job. She hated having to schedule her day, she hated sending repetitive emails, and she hated the research involved in creating articles. What she did love is the creative aspect of her job, which was taking outlines and converting them into high-quality drafts. So when AI came into the picture, she was excited. She was very hopeful about what the future might hold. However, it quickly became clear that AI could do more of the creative stuff than originally planned. And in a few weeks after AI became mainstream, Sarah lost the majority of her clients. They thought they would use AI themselves to create articles, blog posts, and other types of text-based content, and Sarah soon found herself without any client work, which led her to question, is AI in freelancing a good thing, or is it just something that will take over the jobs as we traditionally knew them? As AI continues to evolve, will there be a time for human creativity, or will that get lost as well? Could the rise of AI as we now know it lead to the end of freelancing? And finally, is the integration of AI into our workflows as freelancers a threat or an opportunity? Let's start by speaking about the diverse applications of AI in a freelancer's life and how these different applications can help with one's workflow. So for me, one of the tools I really like when it comes to content automation is Jasper. And here I am in Jasper. It's a tool I've been using for a couple of years, and this has really evolved over time. So the easiest way to create content is to go and create a blank document, but this could also be something that's loaded from a template, or you can create a one-shot blog post, or you can create new art. But let's just go and create a blank document. And then basically this document is your playground. So you can create whatever you want inside it. So I can type in slash to give a command, and I say create 3 paragraphs about AI and freelancing. Hit enter, and Jasper will get cracking. As you can see, it created 3 paragraphs speaking about strides in industries, pivotal role in expanding opportunities available to freelancers, and it also speaks about the challenges. So I like that there is that balance between the good and the bad. Another tool is obviously ChatGPT. So can you write 3 paragraphs about AI and freelancing? As you can see, ChatGPT really loves lists, and immediately it introduces this put and then goes into different points, different items in the list. So there's enhancing productivity and creativity, market expansion and skills enhancement, and challenges and detailed consideration. So here ChatGPT even goes into the challenges. So this is in terms of content creation. There are plenty of other tools, new tools keep coming out, but I think these two are really useful and have evolved over time. So the amount of support a tool gets and how many updates it gets are a very important measure for me personally. Next up, we have the grammar checking. So as a freelancer, providing work that is error-proof is super important. And Grammarly is one of my favorite tools. In the premium version, you get a lot more stuff that gets checked and updated. But even the free version provides quite a bit of suggestions and improvements. So here inside Jasper, I have integrated Grammarly directly. So I can just go over each suggestion and see if I want to accept it. It's just a matter of hovering my mouse over it and then making the changes. So it's crucial for freelancers to update. Freelancers must update. So it's always about saying things in a simpler way. And as you can see, through a few changes, I now have this short text about AI and freelancing. Another tool, in addition to Grammarly, that you can use is Hemingway Editor. And this is great for you to see how hard or simple a specific text you have generated really is. So in this default text that they have available, you can see that there are sentences. So 4 out of 11 sentences are very hard to read, some are hard, and there's one which has an adverb. So the idea is to have as few adverbs as possible. So I paste in my text, I now have this information. So I have 7 out of 10 sentences that are hard to read or very hard to read. 1 of 10 is hard, so it's quite an advanced level. It's a grade 16. So what I can do is go back to Jasper or ChatGPT, whatever, and I'm going to say, please write this in a grade. Let's go with 5 language. And I'm just going to paste in the text. So let's see what comes out. I'm going to copy that, paste it back into Hemingway, and now it's a much different story. So 1 of 11 sentences is very hard to read. So I'm really going to put a full stop there, break up the sentence. So now I have 0 out of 12 sentences that are very hard. I have 3 that are hard to read and 3 adverbs, bringing down the reading level to a grade 7. So that's pretty good. As you can see, Hemingway does a great job at telling you where your text is complicated. They also have a rewrite feature, which is part of the Pro version, where you can get their AI to make the text even simpler. So that even adds another layer of simplicity. Next up, I want to speak about topic research, and this is an area that many people seem to struggle with. They don't have ideas about what they want to speak about. And there are a lot of tools that can help with this. If there's ever a time where you find you don't have any ideas, I think that is the effect of a problem and not the actual cause. And I only say this because there are so many tools and ideas out there that ideas should be the least of your worries. You can ask people on forums, you can do a quick search to see what's trending. You can use a tool like the following, which is called Answer the Public. And this is a great tool to generate ideas for articles, videos, social media posts, etc. So in this free version, you get 3 data searches, you get historical search, and you get project, whatever that might mean. So here I can search for freelance AI. I can choose US, choose English, and hit search. And Answer the Public will go and find me a bunch of topics related to freelance and AI. So this will take a few minutes, or rather a few seconds. And as you can see, there are highly searched phrases, average searched, lower or lowest searched. So I can look at, are freelance writing jobs legit? Are freelancers contractors? Can freelance writers make money? Can freelancers charge texts? So there's a lot of different keywords. They're also sorted in the why, will, are, can, etc. There's also prepositions. So with, can, for, freelance illustrator hourly rate, freelance illustrator hourly rate. There's also or, and. So we have these connectors. Then we have the list sorted in alphabetical order. So freelance AI artist under A, under M, freelance AI model training. As you can see, the list goes on and on and on. Freelance AI model training, freelance AI prompt engineer. So even as I'm going through this, there's a lot of ideas that I'm getting that if I want to do, I could create content on. So content creation, or rather idea generation, should never be an issue. Next up, for productivity, one tool I really love is Notion. It allows you to have databases to keep everything organized. It allows you to link things together and reference them easily. And they have a super handy mobile app that works really well. So I'm a big fan of Notion. And as you can see, this might be a template that I use to help me organize. So let's say this is the video that I'm creating. It lies within the content schedule, which is part of my YouTube content calendar. And then I have different fields here that I can fill in. So I have link to slides, link to outline, link to thumbnail, link to video file. So these I fill in as I complete. I have the publishing date, I have video notes, video resources, type of video. So there's a bunch of stuff that I can fill in. All of this stuff is super searchable. And for me, that is very important when it comes to productivity. I need to find things quickly. I need to find things without having to spend minutes trying to remember where I found them. And this also means that I can think about new stuff in my brain, because I know that there is a second brain, which is a whole other concept, that is being stored somewhere else, in this case on Notion. So for productivity, I find this to be a super valuable tool. And finally, there are graphics-based tools. So here, my two favorite ones are Canva, which makes it super easy to design anything that you can think of. And with their recent AI tools, it's super easy to add blur, and generate new stuff in your images. So there's a bunch of AI tools that make it super easy and convenient to make modifications. Then there's also tools like ChatGPT and its DALL-E integration, and even Jasper has its own AI art tool. For example, if I go to ChatGPT and I ask it to create me an image for the above, which is the text generated before, and in the meantime I go to Jasper and I go to, let's create new art, let's copy some text from here into Jasper, let's paste that, let's create art, and let's see. So this is the version that ChatGPT has created, AI Freelancing. As you can see, there's a bit of issue when it comes to the text. It's not super correct, or not correct at all. But these are minor things that you can edit or just have an image with no text. If I go to Jasper, this is what it's created when I said the integration of artificial intelligence to the freelancing sector, revolutionizing how freelancers work, offering new opportunities and challenges. So it's a bit more abstract, as you can see. But this is not too bad, and definitely something that you can put into your graphic editing software and make better. One final tool I will mention when it comes to graphics is Midjourney, and this is a powerhouse of a tool. It's a tool that has evolved a lot over the last couple of years, and to access it, you need to go into their Discord. So hit join the beta, accept the invite, and you'll find yourself inside these rooms. Then you'll be able to see what other people are generating and also generate your own. So let's have a look at a few. So let's have a look at this. So close-up realistic classic green wood, the Chinese dragon, long, red eyes, etc. Not the best image to look at. For example, dark blue layered minimalistic mountain illustration background, snowboarder jumping in the air. That's a very nice wallpaper. Let's see if there's something else that stands out. Studio, I'm not sure what that is, style, painting of canoe on a river with cattails on the riverbank. It could be a very nice painting if someone had made that. I also want to see if there's anything that deals with people, because sometimes the realism to a real photograph is pretty insane. So let's see. Beautiful girl, 30 years old, tail dress and ultra short brown dress. So thanks, it's still insane that this is AI generated. And as you can see, the level of detail is pretty significant. So if you are a freelance graphic designer, if you are a freelance writer and need images, these are all tools that you can use to make your life easier. Now, let's speak about the challenges of AI tools in your daily life as a freelancer. So the first thing is learning new platforms. People don't really like change, and as freelancers, we have our own way of doing things in a specific order. First we do one thing, then we do the next, and then the process is complete. When you are learning new platforms, that will have to change by definition because things will be done differently. So when you are using AI tools, you need to figure out how you're going to integrate the new tool inside your platform, which means you will need to learn new things. And at the beginning, that might also mean that you will see a decrease in your productivity. You will see a decrease in your output. But everything is worthwhile. Eventually, you'll figure out how to use it in the best way possible, and then your output will get better over time. But there is that brief period where things will get worse before they get better. The next point is that adjusting to automated solutions might not always be accurate. The AI will give you suggestions on what it thinks you should do. If you are speaking about Grammarly as a tool to proofread your work, sometimes the suggestions it gives aren't correct. If you are creating content using an AI tool, sometimes it will not understand your voice. It will not be able to give you the level of detail that you want. It might also go out of point and come up with errors, which are all things you will need to account for. There will be a time where you will need to go back to the drawing board and say, this is not really working. How can I do it better? What needs to change? What is wrong with my input? So there will be this phase where automated suggestions are not correct. It's a challenge that you need to embrace as a freelance writer if you want to use AI. Loss of personal touch is another important point that I wanted to mention. Many freelance writers are hesitant to use AI because they feel it's not them. At the end of the day, it is true. Even if you supply the AI with lots and lots of examples of work that you've done, it will still come up with its own thing based on the inputs that you give it. But what happens between the input and the output is somewhat of a black box. So you might actually lose your personal touch to an extent, which also means that after the AI has done its work, you will need to go in, check the work, and ensure that your brand voice, that your own personal touch is there. Job security. I heard the quote that kind of provides a solution to this job security issue. And the quote was,
You're not going to get replaced by AI. You'll get replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI better than you.
if you are not using AI, chances are that you will get eaten alive, so to speak. What you must do is learn how to use AI to your advantage, and like this, you'll be able to increase your productivity, increase your output, while still knowing where your strengths are and what you bring to the table. If you are just hoping for this trend, new way of doing things to go away, I think that you will be waiting for a very long time. And finally, is overdependence on technology. In a way, AI makes it easier to not think or to think less. It's like when a calculator was introduced, people didn't have to calculate all the mathematical problems in their head, which in a way made us lazy. And AI is making us lazy to an extent. You could also say that AI is also giving us the time to focus on better things, on higher leverage opportunities. So there's also that. I think it depends on how you look at it. So how do you keep up with this new way of doing things and ensure you don't fall behind? Number one is staying on top of trends, knowing what's out there, knowing what is coming out, and finding the best ways to use this technology, whether it's through your own trial and error, through learning from those that are slightly ahead of you in their learning, or from a combination of both. And one point I'll mention is that in order to keep on top of this AI technology, sometimes you will have to invest money. And this is the way I prefer to see it. It's investing money. As in other areas of the business, not everything will work out. There will be times where you put in money and you get nothing in return. But there will be other times when you increase your investment, where you double, triple it. And I think it is the same here. There are tools that can make your life easier, but there are also tools that are quickly discovered that they don't do anything when it comes to AI technology. At the same time, there's also different ways to use different tools and see what others are doing in your industry, or even other industries can sometimes give to you the right ideas to use a tool in a different way than you thought possible. So this is also an important distinction. While it might not be useful for you as is in this situation, I think there's always a way to find the right use for a specific AI tool. So there you have it, my take on AI and freelancing and how we can use these tools to become better at what we do. Now I'm curious, what are your favorite AI tools and how are you using them in your everyday life? Let me know in the comments below and I look forward to your thoughts. In the meantime, check out the link in the description for my freelancing checklist, which will help you get up and running with your freelancing business. So check it out in the link below and I'll speak to you soon.